Hi, I'm David. I'm the safety officer here at Sealing Agents. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about the 5 big factors or the 5 big points that I think needs to have an emphasis placed in safety when involving operating and working around the gravel shooter.
Hey, I'm Nate. This video is going to be important not only for drivers, but like David mentioned, it's also going to be important for folks who are around stone slingers. So anyone working on the ground or even sales and production, these are things to keep in mind when we are around the stone slingers as a whole.
Guys, when we're working around gravel shooters, the first thing we'll be mindful of is the boom.
The boom is one of and can be one of the more hazardous aspects of working around this vehicle. Number one, as the operator, you should be mindful of where this boom swings, as how far of a reach out it can go, and any other obstructions you can encounter when you're trying to get in position to shoot the gravel. Those that are working on the same job site of the gravel shooter should be mindful of this, of the swing, and also be mindful that you should never pass under the boom when it is both out and in operation. Hydraulics can be prone to fail and can lead to injury and even fatality.
The second item we want to be careful of when we're working on a gravel shooter and around a gravel shooter is the belt.
As an operator, you should be mindful of this, but also if you're also on the job site along with this piece of equipment, be mindful of the speed at which this thing turns. You should never, ever, ever have your hands anywhere near this belt while it's in operation.
That's a great point. The third item to be careful of when working around a gravel shooter is the chain that moves the belt in the drum.
Fortunately for these chains, this one up front has a cover on it, and while it's in operation, it should be high enough that it should be out of reach. However, the large drive chain in the back of this boom can be a hazard as well while this thing is articulating.
And if you're thinking, I drive a Can America that doesn't have a drive chain, it's worm drive, it's direct drive in the back, well, let's just be careful of hydraulics and keep in mind that number 2 for you is going to be, or number 3 for you is going to be hydraulics. Keeping eyewear on when you're close to hydraulics, and anytime you're breaking lines because you have a failure, remember there could always be pressure on that line. The fourth item to be mindful of when you're driving or operating and working around stone slingers are the drop axles.
Number 1, when you're leaving the quarry with a full load, you should use the drop axles.
Remember, never in reverse with drop axles, and do not use your drop axles when you're parked. Drop axles do not have parking brakes in them. They're only driving brakes, service brakes on the pedal. So if you lower your drop axles when you're parked, it takes weight off your rear tires, but the rear tires are where your brakes are. So that's why a lot of trucks will not even let you go in reverse with drop axles down, and some of them will automatically raise your drop axles when you put the parking brake in. But we need to be aware of this because not all of us have worked around tires with drop axles. For the guys on the crews and the maintenance guys, we do not want to crawl underneath drop axles without having jack stands up, because you never know when an airbag could fail and let that drop axle down. The only thing holding it up is an airbag under pressure. Number 4, the tarp.
The tarp is a major component, especially when leaving the quarry or wherever you got your stone from or your material. I know it can be cumbersome, but it doesn't take more than 3 seconds to engage the tarp and drop it like you should.
We see most often that what happens is we get out of our normal routine and we forget about the tarp. When you get on a job site, please do not start throwing gravel until your tarp is rolled up. If you say to yourself, oh, I'll remember to roll it back up when I leave the site because where I stopped had a tree or has a power line, you're more than likely going to forget to roll it up before heading to the quarry. So pull back out of that job site, roll that tarp back where it's safe to roll it back, and then move back into the job site to throw the load of stone. Those are the big 5 things. Thanks for watching. Bonus round, speed.
Speed kills, whether you're driving a standard pickup truck, but especially if you're operating something of this caliber with this much weight, it can be incredibly top heavy. There's no need to rush. They can wait. The job's not going anywhere. Always be safe. You can always replace a piece of equipment, but you cannot replace lives. Slow down.
Thanks for watching.